Hey, MzeroA Nation, Jason here, answering a question a lot of you have been asking. A lot of you have seen 23MZ Zulu, not only in the videos, but in person, and it'll be at all the AOPA fly-ins. It's already been at Sun and Fun, Oshkosh as well. You can come check it out here. You're asking why we did what we did. Why Avidyne over Garmin? Why this over this? And these sort of things. And I want to work with you to kind of answer those questions here. And just showcase you everything and why we chose what we did. Let's start with what kind of powers and really the heart and soul of any airplane, but particularly 23MZ Zulu, and that is our Avidyne stack. This is a complete Avidyne stack from the intercom down to the transponder, but the two main workhorses are the IFD 550 and 440 here. I've flown with all sorts of Garmin products, now flying with Avidyne products, and that's what I chose to go with because it really works for myself, my style of flying, and the team here at MzeroA.com and our style of flying. Some different things I love and that really sold me about it here. The first and foremost, it sounds so simple, but we have the Avidyne keyboard that we keep right here in the plane. So I can give it to a passenger when they need to do something. If I'm getting bumped around, I need to change a frequency. Well, I have the keypad here. I can still do the old twist the knobs to change the frequency, or I can even go to my keypad here and put 1, 1. You see it change right up there, 8.60. And I can put that frequency in there as well. I can flip-flop those frequencies from the keyboard as well. You can see everything. I can go direct to, let's go direct to K, G, N, V, up to Gainesville, enter. Enter, and I've got that all programmed in there. That speaks to the dynon, speaks to everything. The other killer feature, for us at least, is what we have set up on the Avidyne app. The Avidyne app really works to mirror as well over here what we're seeing on the 550. So I can show my entire FMS flight plan. I can show just my map. If I like to leave this on FMS mode, or I want this on synthetic vision, or I want this style of synthetic vision here, I can have my flight plan here, I can have my big map here, because you'll notice in a lot of the videos when I'm flying on my actual map, I keep the land data and the nav data to a minimum. I can turn that up just so you can see it. It's just this map here, basically. I'm so zoomed in now, just so you can see everything. But I actually keep everything to a minimum because I'm flying IFR the majority of the times anyways. I want less distractions. If I need to see airspace and such, I have ForeFlight sitting on my lap via an iPad. I have ForeFlight over here as well, and this is another iPad installed here, and we just went with Guardian Avionics is this install here. So I've got all of this. I've got ForeFlight right here as well if I want to pull up a plate, brief it, have it right here in front of me, or have a more detailed map as well. It's many ways to do the same different things. I always joke with people, if I have an instrument issue, how many attitude indicators can I make at any given time in this particular airplane? And I can pull up a whole mess of them if I wanted to. If I need and require that level of redundancy, I have it. So that's kind of a big reason for that, why we're flying. I mean, it's these little features that make the difference. And you've seen us doing these great IFR flying videos and how we truly maximize it. You've seen the video, I'll link to it as well, how we kind of preload the approach on the ground and just thinking ahead with our flight plans. Engine-wise, let's head over this way now. Engine-wise, we went with the EI, their 30P and their 30C. It's the CGR line here. Everyone here has flown with old 1972 Cessna or Piper gauges. There's usually 4 of them, and they're not all that reliable. The fuel gauges are swinging everywhere, everything else. We had our fuel floats sent off, calibrated with everything, so we're calibrated now down to the decimal point. There's no longer an excuse for not knowing fuel flow I have, oil pressure, oil temperature, CHT, EGT for each of the 4 cylinders here as well. My fuel levels, a G meter, because it's cool to have a G meter, and I'm not doing anything cool, but it sounded cool. This is actually very cool and very important to me. This is my CO level detector. This comes actually from our CO Guardian as well that I have down here, so showing my CO level. Something I always watch in the winter months when I'm pulling on the cabin heat, and I'm watching to make sure I'm not getting any carbon monoxide in the cockpit. My volts, my amps, my carburetor temperature as well, and my outside air temperature. So when I add carb heat, I should see a rise and increase in my carburetor temperature as well, so I can be watching for things like carb ice. Just great, great tools to give me the confidence now as well when I'm flying, making run-ups so much easier. If I can show you, I'll just do a run-up. Let me make sure what's behind me here. I'm just sitting over here on the non-moving area. There's nothing behind me. If I do an actual run-up, and we run up at 1,700 RPMs, I'm looking up here. You get real picky with digital numbers now. So running up to 1,700, just barely. When I do a mag check, I don't know if the camera will be able to see it, but it'll show me which mag. If I go to left, it shows me the left mag. It knows it's a mag drop. It shows me that appropriate drop. When I go back to both, that mag indicator goes out and I get my rise back on up. Go to the right mag, the opposite mag light will come on, right? Showing me my drop, showing me my rise. So it's acknowledging each magneto independently there as well, which is really, really outstanding. Just adding technology to make our life easier. And then over here we have, we're actually the very first, this is certified by the way, nothing in here is experimental. It's a big question we get asked because people unfortunately associate Dynon with just experimental stuff. Dynon has an entire certified line now. We were the very first Dynon certified on their 172 STC. So this is the first one installed. Absolutely love it. What I love here too is the team and I fly very differently. This is how Matt, many of you know Matt, this is how Matt likes to fly a lot. Matt must love his maps because you'll see Matt flying like this, not making fun of Matt or anything like that, but he has maps on maps on maps. Whereas I would rather, how I typically fly, you'll see in the videos, is I like to take this full. I'll pull up my map elsewhere. I have a map on my lap. I'll pull up a map over here. We all fly differently. We all configure the airplane differently, and we have these types of profiles to do that and configure that. Notice my Avidyne is talking to my Dynon. It's pulling from the IFD 550 here. It's 30 miles to Gainesville like we put in there, and I've got my HSI. I also put in here, not everybody flies with this on the team, but I do. I have our ground speed. Our airplane was originally certificated in miles per hour, so I have these numbers. You remember how many thousands of hours I have in this airplane before it became 23 Mike Zulu. It was always miles per hour, so those numbers are burned into my brain, so we just set everything up in miles per hour. But I have everything estimated time en route to final, distance to go, next waypoint, estimated time next, distance to next, and my next course. Again, my theme is what? Thinking ahead of the airplane. Maybe you say this glass stuff is great, Jason, it's just a little bit much for me. Well, even with that, we can put everything and still show you your standard six-pack. If you still want to fly with a standard six-pack, still an HSI there, just to show you that, to get you used to some glass panel flying, kind of something fun. DA10 over here just as a backup. It's actually a requirement to have redundancy on that. I want to mention too, everything here, D10A, HDX, everything here has its own independent backup battery as well. So it is all redundant. So if I go, and we'll go master switch off here in a second, you'll watch and you'll see everything will just kind of keep on powering on. My HDX, everything else will keep going on battery-wise because it has its own backup battery. It knows the master's off and it'll turn itself off, but it has its own backup battery. Lastly, ending with something I think is super cool too, is the lights that we did. If you've ever flown with me, you know I'm a big fan. I'm sitting here on the ramp and all my lights are on, for goodness sake. I am a big fan of flying with all of my lights on. We switched everything over to aero LEDs. We use the wig-wag as well method. I can turn that on real quick so you can see what the wig-wag actually looks like as well. So you can kind of see that and check all of that out. And then you can also fly with it just on regular steady like that if you want to see that. But there's no excuse. Ocala Tower makes fun of us. They can always see us like 30 miles out. They know when 23 Mike Zulu's coming. Like, you don't need ADS-B. You can just see us. Yes, we have ADS-B, but you can see us coming with all of those lights because we're so bright. And that's thanks to our friends at Aero LEDs who put out just a fantastic product. Last little thing I'll mention here is something I didn't think was possible, and I think there's a stereotype behind this. This airplane's from 1972. We added an autopilot. It never came off the factory with an autopilot. We added an autopilot that many years later. We went the True Track. This is the True Track, their Vision autopilot here that you can see. And the beauty of this is, since we went to all EI, I saved a lot of space. I had a round space here anyways. This is where, if you remember, where the tachometer was on 23 Mike Zulu. So it fit. I had that harness right there. Everything was ready to go. We plugged that in. We ran the cabling. We added the servos. This was literally a day's worth of work. And for whatever reason, and again, being in aviation is really my only career, I had the stereotype that, oh, if it didn't come with an autopilot, it's very expensive, you can't add one. And TrueTrack's really breaking that down. This is, again, fully certificated. TrueTrack got their start in the experimental space. They have a huge line of certificated products, certified products now as well to check out. So you'll be seeing a lot of videos. I've done some hands-free GPS approaches as well that you can see that in its full use. Another just fantastic piece of hardware. Again, 23MZ is an amazing machine, but it takes time to truly learn and master each of these. When we first did this, I had Gary, many of you know Gary from videos, our videos, come in and train myself and the team on how to use this, because just going direct enter, you've unlocked like 1, maybe 2% of what this box, what this entire suite here can really do for you. So I am still learning something every day. I'm still on 100% of the way there, but a good pilot's always learning, and we're always working to get better and better. So please, if you do decide to take that plunge and add in some fantastic avionics, even if you just want to start adding an iPad on your lap or mounting the panel, whatever it is, even those apps have so many intricacies and new things to learn. So make sure you're taking time to better yourself and learn those as well. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and shut down. If you have any questions, myself and the team, and I'm going to ask some of the team at Dynon and Avidyne and Guardian and TrueTrack and EI to kind of watch these comments, and AeroLEDs to watch these comments as well. So if you have any questions for their team, they'll be chiming in to answer those as well. So listen, I hope you'll come out, check out 23MZ at the remaining AOPA fly-ins this year, up at Oshkosh, at Sun and Fun the following year. Enjoy the rest of your day, and most importantly, remember, the good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you.
I sincerely hope you loved watching this video. These videos you see online are simply just the tip of the iceberg of what we do here at MzeroA.com. MzeroA is a complete private, instrument, commercial, and FOI online ground school. Everything is done at your own pace online. You watch our lessons, also online, take practice exams, all from any device. If you love these free videos we put out here on YouTube and Facebook, I encourage you to check out our complete online ground school for the knowledge test, check ride, and most importantly, setting you up to make you that safe, real-world pilot. Take a 2-week free trial, no strings attached, of our online ground school by visiting MzeroA.com/trial.